I'm honored as well. I'm absolutely honored because working with you has changed my life. So where do we begin? So basically, my background, I was doing freelancing for years, and I've been broke for 12 years, and always struggling, moving on to the next thing. Never really getting anywhere. All I wanted to be was a content creator, and I just wanted to make really good money doing that. And then last year, I cracked a viral code around content, and I was making viral content for clients. And I was like, screw this, I'm going to make content for myself, and I'm going to implement this strategy. And then basically, in the course of, I think it was 10 weeks, I gained 440,000 followers with this specific, I call it like a signature series method now. And, I was able to quit freelancing through sponsorships and brand deals and AdSense, which was cool. Still wasn't hitting the 5 figures a month mark, but it was enough for me to justify quitting freelancing and start to go all in on this. The problem was, like, I was in a niche where I wasn't an expert, and I'm still not an expert in. I was just documenting my journey. And my whole strategy was monetize through sponsorships. I figured out how many I would need at what rate so I could quit freelancing. But I didn't really have plans on where I was going to go after that, because it's like, cool, just quit freelancing, quit freelancing. So I quit it. And then I'm like, all right, where do I go from here? And that's when we started talking. And you were very persistent. I respect your follow-up game is so strong. And if you hadn't have followed up with me in the way that you did, it wouldn't have changed my life, right? And so I started working with you. And so, I came in, and my intention was to basically, like, my brand manager and I, we were wanting to create like an agency connecting creators with brands, because we were like, oh, that's going to be really lucrative, because I was a freelancer and creator, and we saw there was a huge gap in the market. I came into this mastermind thinking, all right, let's blow up this agency. But what happened was, like, the first 30 days, there was this 30-day cash injection. And I was like, all right, what is the easiest thing that I can do for a cash injection? How can I do this, right? And basically, long story short, I was like, all right, maybe I could teach people how to blow up their their audience with what I've done, right? And I was like, okay, let's do that. With everything I learned in working with you, I basically put together this offer, which at the time was, work with me for a period of time, up to 6 months, and I can show you exactly what I done. And if you implement it, then I guarantee you will get 100,000 followers across the platforms in less than 6 months using this signature series method. And, 5 grand, and let's bring 10 people in. And I was like, cool, I can make 50 grand doing that. Something in my mind, like, I've thought of a million different ideas on how to make good money quickly. And for some reason, this was the first time that it worked out of like my 10 years of entrepreneurship. So I didn't want to sell to my existing audience in the gut health carnivore niche, right? Because that's what I was building. I built an audience around gut health, and I wasn't passionate about like teaching it or becoming a consultant, but I love content. So what I actually did was I sold to my Facebook friends instead of my 100, my 400,000, whatever. I sold it to my Facebook friends. And this is a page that I've posted probably a dozen times in the last 2 to 3 years on this page, but I just built a strong connection with people over the years, organic posting. But it was just like my case study of like, I've crushed it with these results. And then my friend was blowing up at the same time. So I used him as a case study. And I basically just sold this. I followed everything. I went through all the content. I was on all the calls, the mastermind. I was just like sucking up as much goodness as I could. And then in less than 30 days, I sold 50K worth 5,250, 5,000. $52,500 in less than 30 days, right? Collected 25,000 the first 30 days. The rest is payment plans. And I started to pay off this debt, that has been looming over my mind for like almost 10 years now. And I actually like for the first time initiated something that has enabled me to start getting ahead of my life. And it's been crazy. So like collecting 25,000 in 30 days, going down to my parents and just handing them cash and like paying them back for, them bailing me out years ago and them crying and like, it's just been absolutely transformational. But now what's actually happened is I have pivoted my entire business, right? So I haven't created any content really on my pages for like 3 months. And now I have the pathway to build an actual business that will, I said to Lauren, I'm like, I'm not leaving this mastermind until we do 1 million, and it's completely possible with all the frameworks. And that just blows my mind to think that that could actually be in my account within the next 12 months. It blows my mind. So that's what's happened.
My monthly revenue was very inconsistent. I would have months where I was earning 3,500, and then other months where it would shoot up and I would maybe even do as much as 15,000. But since putting systems into place, I'm finding that my revenue is a lot more consistent and a lot more predictable. I'm easily doing at least a minimum of 15,000 every single month confidently, but some months is obviously higher than that. I didn't even know what an offer was. I literally just followed the system, recreated my program almost, then also having the sales structure of how to articulate and ask the questions during a sales call to help a person come to a decision. We very quickly were able to, within the space of 6 weeks, bring in £60,000 revenue. And I've never done that before in this business. So it's all as a result of putting in the time and following the system. And I'm very, very happy with what I've achieved today. In terms of my experience, one of the greatest things that I found is not only is there exceptional amounts of knowledge, incredible systems and steps that you just follow, there's no questions around it, you just follow the steps. But it's the energy of the teachers and coaches, as well as the energy of the clients. I've noticed they don't just take anybody on. I have got a group of peers around me that some of those peers are earning, I would say, at least, 20 times what I'm earning. And I'm watching them knowing that is where I'm going, because when I speak to them about my challenges, they're right there reminding me, Mina, I felt exactly like you felt, and this is what I found. And that support is just unbelievable. It's nice to be in a position also that there are people that maybe have just started where I was before I started, to be the person to support them and let them know it's going to be okay. I was where you were. And that is something that's really special. The quality and the caliber of people that they take on board, they don't just take anyone. Everybody's got very high energy. They're all working in fields that are really making a difference in the world. And that was one of the things that I wasn't aware of I was going to get, but actually has been so valuable to me. My business was going okay, but I felt quite stuck about how am I going to start serving more clients, and how can I take the knowledge that I've got and really get it out there so it reaches more people, and how do I communicate exactly what I do to reach a wider audience. The motivation for enrolling was really how I felt connected with Lauren and her message. Also Lauren's struggle. She's very open about where she's been on her entrepreneurial journey, which made me, I really identified with that, because having had multiple businesses, I could really resonate with the problems that Lauren had been through and what she'd overcome, and the way that she articulates that message. I also found very valuable was the amount of processes and systems, just even in the posts, that you could use, pick up and notice that you get a result straight away. So that gave me a lot of confidence, and it just made me feel a little bit like, oh my gosh, if I can get this free, imagine if I actually worked with them and had a team behind me, and that could help me and support me and grow my business. And there was one other thing, the testimonials and hearing other people's stories of what they were stuck with. So just people like me, and seeing them really sort of start flying with the systems and processes. It doesn't mean that it's going to work overnight for everybody, because everyone starts in a different place. But I've certainly seen at least 160% growth in my overall turnover. We're just getting started. So I'm really happy, and I'm staying put because it works. I wasn't very good at helping people make the decision whether I was the right person to work with. So I found that by understanding the sales structure, really being able to articulate and pull out of a person the problems and the patterns that they were having, by using Lauren's system, it made it so much easier for a potential client to come to the decision if I was the right person to work for them, rather than me feeling like I was pushing or pulling onboarding. There's just a fantastic system, a system called Perfect, especially even before we get to that process of helping me identify, is this person right for me? And then helping the person that you're speaking to and the potential client identify if actually I'm the right person for them. I would describe the support that I've had to be second to none, really. Everything that I need at any moment is always available to me, whether that's just being reminded and pointed in the right direction on exactly what I should be working on next. A peer that you need support from who can actually just keep you, cheering you on and keep you going. That's been actually really, really incredible, because even when I might be feeling a bit distracted, it keeps me on track to remember, oh gosh, my peers have got it, so come on, I need to get back on track. There's always someone available to ask a question to. The team are absolutely fantastic, so knowledgeable. It's not necessary that you need to speak to Lauren all the time at all, because the team are just, they know my business better than I do, and that's what's given me so much more confidence about, even when I'm feeling that I'm struggling or challenged, I know there's somebody who already knows exactly what I'm going through and can articulate it for me. So it keeps me confident moving forward through the challenging time that is trying to scale your business. The social media scaling system is very sophisticated. The team give you exactly what you need to post on your socials. Obviously, initially, I didn't understand what I was posting and why I was doing it. And suddenly I was becoming completely inundated with new inquiries, and all it was understanding how to word things and how to really articulate what your offer is. As a result, I've built up a small community quite quickly of 250 people that regularly join my monthly free live calls. I have consistently between 50 to 80 people join live every single month. In addition to that, I know we have at least 20 to 30 that are watching the replays, because we're constantly getting feedback about how valuable and what we're supplying is. And even though some of those people aren't quite ready to join us because they're not at that stage yet, the great thing about it is they're consistently moving forward, understanding the process and the systems that we have. And as a result of staying on track with this and doing this work, I'm starting to see people actually coming back in and around again, saying, I'm ready to move forward now. What do you offer me? Because even when you're going through it, it can be quite nerve-wracking, because you're thinking, oh, nothing's working. But it is working, because you've got to build the relationship and that, build the trust and the loyalty that you're going to show up, and what you supply is so valuable. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of very skilled people who have a real magic inside of them, but they don't know how to communicate the message. They don't know how to formulate an offer. We have no idea about, are we pricing too much? Where are we positioned? One of the greatest things that the team have provided for me is a real systematic, structured way of actually articulating what I do and getting that message out there, so that people can really understand what I do clearly without me having to sort of get lost in the noise of what everybody else is offering. So it's really helped me just narrow down, focus on what I do, what I offer. I come from a business background, have had multiple businesses, and have had a real love and desire for energy and working with energy healing. I was actually what you might have classed an energy healer. But what I realize now, as a result of the work that we've done, is I've built a methodical, systematic way of using energy to really cleanse and clear consistently and efficiently things that we've been through from our past, from our childhood all the way up to now. And as a result, our clients go on to double and triple their incomes just very easily. They go on to really connect with their inner purpose and who they are. And I absolutely love this work, because as a result of working with our clients, they go on to help many, many other people do using their skills and their talents.
I gotta say, I was honestly kind of shocked at how quickly that actually worked. I really was, honestly. That I posted it and got some responses in that, but then just sent a couple of DMs, just literally maybe 5, maybe 4 or 5, and out of those that I sent, booked, like for the very next day, booked 2 calls. And one of them ended up having to reschedule for tomorrow. Thank you very much. Appreciate the applause. Hard one, I'm afraid. And so one I'm following up with tomorrow. So I've got 2 new calls and 2 follow-up calls tomorrow, actually. And I posted again today, like you told me, the revenue activation, and wasn't really paying attention to it because it's Memorial Day here. So I'm with family in that. And just happened to notice that someone had commented, and there were literally 2 comments on it, just 2 of any kind, 2 comments. And one of them was offer. So I've already booked her for tomorrow. So I'm like, yeah, so much of everything else that I've ever done, and I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, had to do with building this huge audience. And I've got an audience of, I don't know, almost 13,000 people, but it was more about growing the audience than it was about what's actually happening with that audience. It's definitely working. I don't need to worry too much about. I've let go of that. Like how many people actually react to your post or engage with it, or none of that matters if it doesn't turn into something, if it doesn't start moving forward. So yeah, definitely very excited.
I've only been doing the program for about a month. I've already seen an additional increase in my revenue, both in closed revenue and in revenue that I know is 90% certain it's going to close, but my sales cycle is a little longer because the ticket on my items are a little higher. So back of the envelope math, between 60 and 70,000 in the first month. I'm April Sprints. I am a business accelerator and leading sales expert, and I help entrepreneurs stop trading time for money. Some of the challenges that I was facing before I enrolled is I had built this great and large in-person business, but the things that you do to build that kind of in-person business don't necessarily translate online. And what I wanted was to find someone who was proven to be able to do that really well and to be able to break it down and teach it. So what surprised me the most is it was a little like drinking out of a fire hose in the beginning, which I love because I knew that meant there's so much value here. I can't even digest it fast enough. And everyone's checking in. Are you okay? How are you doing? And I'm giving feedback of, I'm absolutely overwhelmed, but I think it's me. I don't think it's you. I'll get there. And then there's this moment where it just clicks and it's easy. And the reason it clicks and it's easy is you as the entrepreneur are finally doing everything they told you to do, right? All at once in the system. And it's fantastic. So it's harder than I thought it would be. And it is so much better than I thought it would be. So when I first started in doing one of the systems that you teach us to do, it was so interesting because I expected to get some momentum, but I did not expect to get momentum that I personally couldn't keep up with. But I did. And I made it happen because I always want to do the process first before I document it and hire someone else to do it. And in that first week, because I was making an offer and generating leads and offering this great value to folks, I had probably over 350 leads, and just reaching back out to those people and following up and getting them the things that they need. Again, that was a little bit of the drinking from the fire hose, but it's also what I call a first world problem. We want to have the problem of we cannot keep up with the business we're generating. One of the things I've really loved is the quality of the people within it. And I am always looking to network with other people who are at my level and above my level, and I can learn from and I can offer value to. As far as big successes that made to someone else sound like a little success, but to me was absolutely huge, is learning how to make an offer. So here I built this successful over 7-figure business, right? And I didn't know how to make an offer. I wasn't offering anything. I was kind of lucking into business, if you will, getting referrals, doing great things for people. But there was this whole universe of folks who didn't know I could help them and didn't know how I could help them, nor did I know how to tell them how I could help them. The system helped me, really hone that offer and be able to impact so many more people. And that to me is priceless. One thing that really surprised me was how doing the work changed the way that people who already knew me showed up. So for example, I have worked with organizations where I have donated my time who have then come back and now want to pay for my time. And I think that a lot of that is, one, they understand the value of what I do, but two, now that they see the results that people who pay me are getting, I think they understand that sometimes having some skin in the game will get you even better results. The progress that I've made so far has been really interesting. And I think it is also interesting for people who maybe are starting a brand new business. So what I've seen is, as I'm pivoting to offering more online, I've definitely had a lot more interest, a lot more phone calls and things to do that part of my business. At the the same time, though, in the established area of my business, I have generated a ton of new revenue in keynote speaking, in workshops, in things I'm not even advertising. So what that tells me is that for the people who start and they're only doing the system for a few weeks or a couple months and they say, oh gosh, it's not moving yet. No, you're actually socializing your audience to what you can do, and they are coming along on that journey with you to start making those purchases. Because I had an existing business, I can already see how fast it works when you already have an audience while I'm cultivating that new one. So for me, it's almost like I got double the benefit, because I got benefit in that existing business, and then I'm getting all the new benefit from the online portion of my business and that education arm that I'm building. So here's what I love about the support and guidance that I have not experienced in any other mastermind that I've been in, any other membership, things like this. A lot of times I'll go in, and because of what I do, I'll end up offering advice to other people, and I'll think, oh, that's awesome. And I'll get a few good nuggets, which I really like. On a regular basis, and by regular, I mean daily, whether it's in the meetings that we have or them reaching out to me and messaging or emailing, I am getting things that are up leveling what I'm doing every single day. And that's what I need. I know what I do well. I need the feedback on the things that I can do to level up. So when I first saw Lauren, we knew a few people in common, but I'd never heard of her. And I just went through and looked at a little bit of her social media, and 3 things struck me right away. Number one, it was obvious that she was self-taught, and I really respect that. And she did it very quickly. And someone who has taught themselves how to do something is at an excellent position to teach other people to do it. The second thing was that she was a giver. She was giving some of the most valuable information she had to sell right there on her social media. And I know that when someone's confident enough to do that, that is just the tip of the iceberg with the value that they have. The third thing that she did was she asked me, what would need to happen for you to want to stay beyond a year? And the fact that she even asked that question, that she was looking to provide that kind of value, I made the decision right then on that first call, probably within 3 to 5 minutes. Not only do I want to be a part of this, I want to pay up front, and I can't wait to get started. So if somebody is on the fence about joining, number one, things are a hell yes or they're a no. So you need to be a hell yes. These are the reasons I would say that you would want to be a hell yes. If you think you don't have the time to do it, you're going to get a lot of time back. If you think you don't have the money to do it, you can't afford not to. So if you've got to put it on a credit card and bet on yourself, do that instead of paying for some other thing that you don't really need that isn't going to get you the ROI that this is. And the third thing is your doubt is in yourself. And if you're getting the offer to join, that means they believe you can be a success. So if you don't have the belief for yourself, borrow theirs.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to tell you some of the amazing results from the event that Lauren just had on Monday, literally 4 days ago. So I did a post in response to a formula that Lauren gave us at the event, and just based on that one social media post, I got 19 people responding and reaching out to me. So I put it everywhere I could possibly think. So I sent it to my email list. I put it on my personal Facebook page, my business Facebook, my Facebook group, and LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. And then we did a second post. So I also did a 20-second video. And then from that post, I got about another 12 people reaching out to me. So totaling 31 leads just from those 2 small posts, most of which were happy to book a sales call with me. So literally in the last 3 days, I've had 11 sales calls. I have another 7 booked, totaling 18 sales calls just from those 2 posts. And so far I've made 2 sales, one of $2,000 US, another one of 1.2 thousand US, and I have a number of other people who I've been on a sales call with who are still yet to get back to me, some of which with higher level offers of $5,000 or $6,000 or more. So it's amazing to me to have so many booked calls in such a short period of time, just incredible to me to have been able to get that. And so I want to thank Lauren and the team so much. It really, really worked. And I've had a challenge just getting people onto a book call. I will get maybe a few when I send out an email, so maybe 3, 4, 5, but to have so many, to have 18 literally in the short space of time is really unusual for me and amazing for me. And so it just shows me the power of just the right message written in the right way.
And in the past 6 months, I've worked with Lauren and 6x'd my revenue this year. Hi, my name is Marianne Lehikoinen, and I am mom. I'm 26 years old, and I am a business coach in Finland, working with Finnish entrepreneurs. And we have a goal for this year. I haven't even talked about this with Lauren, but we have a goal that we can see that we could reach 1 million already this year. And yeah, so when I started in the beginning, I had got rid of everything that I did before, because it was bringing in some money, but it wasn't predictable, and I really wanted to see the growth and build a scalable business. And until then I didn't know how, but when I started, I really quickly in the beginning of this year, I think it was February, made the first 60K month when started working with Lauren. And it happened in, I think we counted that it was 21 days. It wasn't even a couple months. And after that, my company has just grown, and it's still, and also growing. We are doing now 80 to over 100K months. I think this month, I'm really realistic and really even pessimistic when I'm talking about this, these numbers, because I know that this month we are hitting over 100K again. And yeah, it's so exciting. And now I have a team. When I started, it was just me working. I had a VA, and I also have had one sales rep selling my previous program or my previous offer that I had before working with you. I had so many offers. I had from 20 euros, these low ticket offers, to a couple of €100, and I sold over 1,000 online courses before, in 2 years. And yeah, I was making money, but it wasn't profitable at all. I used Facebook ads, and I made almost 80,000 euros last year. So it was a almost 6-figure business, but it didn't. It wasn't scalable or nothing like it's now. My husband actually doesn't have to work nowadays, because I'm bringing all the money to our home, and he's with our daughter, who is 2 years old. What I did when I started working with you was that I actually myself started generating leads and doing it on social media. So I did all the messaging. I posted a lot, and also consistently. I've posted consistently since then, so I can see the results also now getting in a lot easier, because I've now done it for a few months and consistently.
And so I would love for you to share anything with our audience, maybe someone who's thinking about potentially joining, and then anything else which you think they should know before they get started.
So I think that the most important thing you need is to be able to commit to yourself and ask yourself this question, are you ready to succeed? Because that's what's going to happen when you just join and also do the work, because of course you need to do the work. And the funny question that I also get from my clients, and I think all the coaches can relate, is well, how long does it take for me to day to day to make that happen? But I just see it well, why aren't you ready to put in the work to get that, well, in this case, the freedom and grow your business to the levels that you probably won't be able to do on your own if you haven't done it before. It's I don't think that it's possible. Well, you can do it for like years and years, but why try to come up with some things that have already been come up with, and like some people can teach you that, and you can do it so much faster. So I think that you just need to be ready to actually succeed and to commit to the work. So because if you just join, you will get everything you need and everything that like you need in place to make 100K per month. And I think it's just about you setting those goals and actually doing the work.